Germany is famous for its bread and bakeries. In this video, we are trying multiple German bakeries at 3 different price points to find out where to get the pastries with the best price to performance ratio. We are starting with the cheapest and end with the most expensive items that we found in our area, including a variety of sweet and savory items from 5 different bakeries here in Düsseldorf, Germany.
The cheapest option to get German bakery items will be at the bakery sections inside of discount supermarkets. In Germany, almost every supermarket has this section, and the items range from a 19-cent standard bread roll to about €2 for a sweet pastry. We went to our nearby Aldi to taste some of the daily baked, sweet and savory cheap bestsellers.
So we came to this park bench here. It is fine February winter day, and we have our discount supermarket stuff. We have 4 items that we're going to try, and I'm going to start with this one.
Phil is starting with this chicken kebab flavored pizza slice. It was only 99 cents, and Aldi often has some type of pizza flavored option that is easy to grab and go.
Just gonna see how good that is. I think this is pretty good. It tastes really a little bit like Middle East, like Turkey or something. This kebab flavor comes through, so taste-wise this is very good. It's always a little gamble in these discount supermarkets how fresh they made it. Sometimes they just put it out in the super fresh, sometimes it's an hour too old. This one is somewhere in between. I would definitely buy that again, and sometimes I actually do buy these. So I think this is a very good start, like a 7 out of 10. For the price.
Moving on to one of the cheapest sweet treats, this Vanillestange or vanilla stick was only 85 cents. This flaky pastry is filled with vanilla custard and topped with some powdered sugar.
Guten Morgen and guten Appetit. This is the standard vanilla custard that you get in so many of these like German pastry items. It's very good. I feel like I've been a little spoiled living in Germany for so long because I get so many good fresh baked pastry items. This is very good value, I think. One of the cheapest ones I've seen.
Grazie.
The next item is my favorite thing to get from the Aldi bakery, and it is this spinach and feta Börek stick. And this is the cheapest savory snack at only 75 cents.
Here we go. As a German, I've eaten this all the time. I'm very happy that they always have this at Aldi, and I think if you want a quick, super affordable snack, it's somewhere in the city and as an Aldi, this is a very, very good option. 8 out of 10, bang for your buck.
The last item we got from the Aldi supermarket is one of the most expensive sweet items that we saw at only €1.89. This is called a Kirschdreieck, which translates to cherry triangle. It's a sweet pastry filled with a cherry filling and a sticky glazing.
Okay, not bad, not bad. Also, I want to point out, these are like proper cherries, not the maraschino cherries that you get in the cans. Very good. But for €2, I can get a lot of other sweet pastry items in Germany, so we're gonna go to the next bakery and try that because this is good, but for my €2, I might want something else.
All right, off to the next stop.
The medium price range German bakeries are the backbone of this country. Most bakeries across Germany will fall into this category. In this section, we will try pastries from 3 different bakeries. We will start with the largest German bakery chain, followed by a more regional chain, and finally a local city favorite, all falling into this mid-price ranged category.
The first mid-range stop is at the largest bakery chain in Germany, Kamps, with around 350 stores, and often found at train stations throughout the nation. The very first Kamps bakery opened here in Düsseldorf in 1982.
So we just came from Kamps, which is a chain all across Germany.
This is our medium price point and kind of what the standard is in Germany for the longest time, because most of the regular bakeries are around this price level.
Most grab-and-go snacks here will cost between €2 to €4. Even though Kamps is a national chain, there will be seasonal and regional bakery items.
I'm going to start off with this cinnamon roll.
This is a Festtagsschnecke, which directly translates to a holiday snail, but it's a cinnamon roll with cranberries and streusel topping. This cinnamon roll costs €2.49.
Very sticky. It tastes like a cinnamon roll, and it has this cranberry chunk that I haven't had before in it. The best part is the middle, when all the cinnamon butter is like stuck in there.
This is fairly heavy and a big chunk.
Yeah.
So $2.49, that is still a very good value, I think. And I'm surprised it's very moist.
A moist cinnamon roll.
Another common savory snack that you will find at these mid-price range bakeries are pre-made sandwiches on a variety of German bread rolls. This one here is a Kürbiskernbrötchen, which is a pumpkin seed bread roll. It is filled with ham, Gouda cheese, tomatoes, lettuce, cucumber, and of course butter on both ends. This sandwich was €3.99.
And this is like what people mostly see at the train stations because they just grab like a sandwich or a pastry and go on their way.
Look at the layers.
I would love it if it was toasted, but honestly, for €4, pretty decent. I don't think you can buy anything for $4.50 in the US, like a sandwich.
Yeah.
I think that's impossible now.
Yeah, but from a German perspective, especially if you ask older generations and you say a belegte Brötchen, like a bread roll with something on it for €4, that would be considered fairly expensive, but nowadays it's definitely normal.
Times are changing.
The last item we got at this German bakery chain is a trendy item called Pistachienhörnchen. This costs €3.99 and it's a croissant-like pastry covered in chocolate and then topped and filled with pistachios. Dubai chocolate has been trending in Germany for the past few years, and many bakeries have made an effort to add more pistachio flavored and filled items, and I'm not complaining.
Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
Not bad if you get the filling inside, but other than that, I think the outside is kind of dry without the filling.
I really like the pistachio filling.
Or love pistachio, so this is like my thing.
I don't think I've ever had pistachio filling like this, and I'm kind of glad that more pistachio stuff is popping up. Maybe this is a trendy thing.
I love it.
I'm usually the type of guy who would get the hearty bread roll over this, and I think this is just as good. Put more pistachio filling in this,
Yeah.
and this would be the bomb.
More filling, please.
This next mid-range bakery is a more regional chain that also originated here in Düsseldorf in 1895, and it's called Bäckerei ter Buiken. It is everywhere in the city and it advertises as rheinische Backkultur. They are quite popular for their regional rye bread, but there's also an assortment of savory sandwiches and sweet treats. There were many special Berliner flavors and a few cake options, along with the trendy Dubai Schnitte.
And one thing that stood out was this thing.
I was surprised to see some unusual types of pre-made sandwiches. I decided on this one, a Dinkelbrötchen mit Rührei, which is a dark bread roll with scrambled eggs along with bacon chunks. This one was €3.99.
And it's pretty heavy, it feels very chunky, and I hope it's good.
I don't know how it tastes, but I feel like for a full sandwich like that, that's not a bad price.
Salty. So I think there's a good amount of egg on there. There's at least 2 or 3 scrambled eggs, I would say. I don't really taste the bacon chunks they promised. Oh, I actually see that there. There's very few in there. It's very salty, the scrambled egg, and the bread roll is a nice one. It's hearty and thick. This thing weighs a good amount. 380, I think that's okay nowadays. Definitely pretty satisfying, and one of the not super unhealthy snacks, I would assume, because you get a couple of eggs.
The next item is something I was so excited to see because it's rare to spot in German bakeries. It's a cookie, but in this case, more of a biscuit. This one is called a Knuspertaler.
They called this a crunchy cookie.
Knuspertaler.
I know cookies as Kekse, but Taler apparently is an old word for coin.
Yeah.
It's oatmeal based with raisins, cranberries, white chocolate, and macadamia nuts.
It's a little harder. We'll see. Oh, there's some nuts in there too. That's not bad. Tastes like not quite like an American cookie. It's definitely a little more oatmeal based. It tastes almost more like a granola bar thing,
That's what it looks like.
but it's not bad. For $2.40, I think it's not bad. And it's also one of the rare cookie sightings I've seen in Germany.
That's so good.
Tastes like Christmas.
No, very different, very granola bar, but wow.
This will be a good hiking snack. That's what I think of.
Last one at ter Buiken is another pistachio variation.
There were a lot of different Berliner flavors, from standard vanilla to berry jam filled to even eggnog filled. We went with this pistachio flavored one, and this one costed €2.50.
Open it up, open it
try.
up. A little disappointing. Plop. We'll see.
It's trendy.
Compare it to Kemp's. Honestly, same bread as the Hühnchen.
Very similar problem. The bread is just very dry, and the cream is awesome though. Could be a little more.
We just need more cream. Just eat a bucket of the cream. It's so good.
I think I might prefer the chocolate slightly, but overall pretty decent.
Yeah, not bad.
Moving on to our last mid-range price bakery. This is a family-run German bakery that also started here in Düsseldorf, called Bäckerei Hinkel. While this bakery has a fraction of the location compared to the previous 2 bakeries, it has one of the most varieties of bread and pastries. There are regular, seasonal, and even daily bread options. Almost every time we go here, there's a decent line of people ready to get some goodies to go.
I got actually one of my favorite favorite German pastries, which is a Nussecke.
Nussecke literally translates to nut corner, and it's an iconic winter staple at German bakeries. This one was €2.80. It's a short crust pastry base with a layer of jam and roasted nuts on top. Often some type of chocolate coating around the edges as well.
So there's this biscuity cookie, and then like a nut mixture on top, and then chocolate covering it. I think every bakery in Germany that makes them themselves has their own variation, like the ratio of chocolate to nuts and stuff. I love this one. It's one of my favorites. 10 out of 10, I think it's worth it.
After trying some of their bread varieties during our German bread video, I was blown away by the flavors and wanted to go with something more savory. So I got this Spuntino Mediterrano. This one was €3.80. Which is this Mediterranean folded white bread snack filled with tomato, eggplant and cheese inside.
It is slightly warm still, so let me see.
It's still holding up that warmth in this cold weather.
Oh God, pizza flavor. This tastes amazing. I actually want to see if I can unfold this a little bit so we can get it inside. Ooh, there's zucchini in there, feta, cheese, and it has a very distinct pizza taste. To be honest, all these things that are kind of foreign that made it to Germany very common, that's my shit. Like, I like to go for these type of things. This was actually €3.80, so €4 that hurts the German soul already a little bit, but it tastes very good, so kind of worth it too.
The last item we decided to go with is one of these cakes. At German bakeries, it's really common to have these sheet cakes that are sold by the slice. We decided to go with this Bratapfelkuchen, which is this baked apple cake, and this one was topped with almonds and powdered sugar. This heavy slice costed €2.80.
As you can see, we don't have a fork with us, so.
Don't hear it.
But yeah, I feel like during Kaffee and Kuchen side, this is a common thing to just go to the bakery and get one of these sheet cakes and just enjoy it with people. How is it?
Very good. But obviously apple cake all around the world, very famous here too. I like the powdered sugar on top. There's almond chunks on top of it.
There's also this cream inside. That's really nice. That's dang. And also for $2.80 for this big chunky slice. Yeah. Totally worth it.
So you know how sometimes they cheap you with the apple cake with very little apples actually in there or just a little apple flavor. This one has big chunks in it.
And a lot of nuts, a lot of almonds on there. 10 out of 10. We wanted to include this one here because it's our favorite like local one in the Düsseldorf area, and honestly the prices are awesome. So those were our medium price points, and now we're gonna go on to the more expensive one.
And before we move on to the high-end price range, we wanted to remind you to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more videos around the world. If you want to further support us, you can do that at patreon.com/DNNPhil. And shout out to our family tier Patreon members. A big thank you to Ethan Mitchell, Heather Kuffner, Hessen Metro, Tarek Malkosh, Ushi Izart, Lee Lim, Jessica Saransak, Debbie and Ray Gordon, and Jamie DeVries. Thank you!
For the high-end price range bakeries in Germany, it gets a little harder. When we searched for expensive bakeries in Düsseldorf, the results were mostly trendy foreign cafes that potentially sell some bakery goods at a higher price, even though a lot of them might outsource their baked goods. Starbucks is also more expensive than most German bakeries, and the really expensive stuff comes in form of handmade cakes from a German Konditorei or Belgian chocolate from specialty chocolatiers. Both not really bakeries. There are also trendy social media shops as well that might offer specialty items.
And that is what we are starting this higher price range with, a specialty shop called Cinnamood that you probably guessed focuses on fancy looking cinnamon rolls and Instagrammable store decoration.
Yeah, and to emphasize our point on you have to go a little off the German bakery route, there are these trendy places in Germany like the Royal Donuts a couple years ago. Now it's a lot of Dubai chocolate popping up, pistachio variations.
Yeah.
And one thing we have in our city is a place called Cinnamood.
It's kind of like a trendy franchise chain that's going, when it's viral on social media, it's in a lot of different cities in Germany.
We decided to go with this red velvet roll that is topped with a fresh strawberry. The package is a very cute individual box, and this overall thing was €4.90.
I don't know what the color comes from.
Immediately more artificial than the one we had from the other bakery though, right?
I don't think it's good. This is $4.90 for this, which for an American is not that expensive. For Germany, it's kind of expensive, especially when you can go to Camps and get one for half the price, and it tastes way better. This is like the third one of these trendy locations that I tried that are just not as good. Like the Royal Donuts, I'm sorry if you love it. To me, those are pretty mediocre donuts, just with a whole bunch of icing and just you put a Kinder Bueno on top. This feels about the same.
It tastes kind of like cake batter, uncooked. The batter, it seems like almost undercooked. It literally tastes like uncooked cake batter. So it proves your earlier point, higher price does not always mean better.
So the next higher end bakery brings us to a place called Pure Pastry at the Karlsplatz in Düsseldorf, where they have a bakery and roastery right across from one another. The pastries, cakes and desserts are very French inspired. They advertise with adjectives like modern, quality and responsible. So we got a selection to try them out.
Alright, so this is our higher price point food and we brought it back home because it got very cold in Germany again.
Filled flavored croissants were one of the few pastry items that were offered. They looked like works of art, and we decided to go with this version of cheesecake and Johannisbeere, which is a type of currant berry. This costed €3.60.
So it's filled with these nice layers. I don't know how traditional French croissant this is, but
I've never seen a croissant this fancy, these layers, the different colors between red and white and then this filling in the center. I expect nothing but greatness. Oh, sticky.
you can still taste the butter, the buttery layers in there, and the cheesecake is a nice cream cheese flavor. It's not bad, but it's also not too expensive, to be honest, right?
So that's the point. It's kind of hard to go very expensive in Germany to an American thinking, oh, $4.50 or something like that for croissant. Doesn't seem that crazy.
Yeah.
For a German though, it is a little expensive. I just found after the little pocket of cheesecake, there is a pocket of the currant cream behind it. So
shows how big Phil's bites are
so
compared
there are
to mine.
3 pockets. You see my jam oozing out there on the side. That part is very nice.
It's a fancier variation.
The savory options always speak more to me than the sweet pastries do, so we decided to get this Feta Spinattasche, which is a feta and spinach filled pastry that also is topped with a lot of sesame seeds, and this one was €4.80.
Go for your bite. Here we go. Wow, that taste is amazing.
And they do not skimp on the spinach, which is so nice. To cook spinach down to this amount, it must have been at least a cup or a big handful.
It's fresh, it's cheesy, but still tastes like spinach. Taste-wise, that might be one of my favorite things today. That is awesome.
Honestly, that's very good.
Almost €5 though. Like I say, that is expensive for a German.
The very last item is the most expensive item in today's video. We literally asked what was an expensive item at this bakery, and they responded with these cakes. We decided to go with the one called Düsseldorfer Kringel. This costed €5.80. It's this raspberry flavored beautiful wreath like mini cake with chocolate, cream, and nuts on top.
But we're stretching a little bit out of the bakery theme into this little cake that they offered there.
And I have to say, this is very small for the €6 price tag. So I hope it's great.
I'm not saying that always a higher price point is better quality, but this flavor, pretty bangin'.
What I like here, this raspberry cream, it tastes so fresh and nice.
It's a little cookie cakey inside, but it's very soft and very moist.
So I have to admit, this is kind of on another level.
Yeah.
But it's also more expensive.
You get a smaller portion for more amount, but flavor is on point.
So for you, which one is the most bang for your buck, the most worth it?
I think I have to go with Henkel. If you find a local bakery with a good price and the freshness and it just tastes good, that's one of my favorite places. I think that's one of the best things about living here.
I do like the not so German items, the pizza things, the Burek sticks. So I think these cheap Burek sticks from like the Aldi grocery store, you cannot beat them in value. However, I do think the last one, the Pure Pastry place, that was new flavor levels for me that I experienced. So
Yeah.
I think I give it to that.
So the German likes the non-German bakeries and the American likes the German bakeries.
Yeah, because I grew up with all of that stuff.
Yeah, but
Let us know what you think is the most worth it out of these items, and how are bakeries in your country? Are there more expensive or cheaper ones? And do you think in general, are these prices still okay?
As always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Honestly, eating this egg sandwich at home, heated up in the oven a little bit, so good. It tastes so much better. I mean, it already tastes good, but this another level.